morning or good afternoon, depending on when you watch this video. I just wanted to say that first off because I know for a fact that there's probably a lot of people out there that may never receive a good morning or good afternoon because maybe they live a solitary life or maybe they're just too busy and all that to talk with people in their family at that given day, and maybe the first thing that they do maybe on a given day or later in the day is to watch this video. So I just want to say, sending good vibes to all of you. I hope you're all having a fantastic day and accomplish everything you set out to do. So with that being said, I just woke up about 30 minutes ago, and I was greeted with, like, this announcement for this anime called Gachiakuta. I probably just butchered that name. Apologies for that. But basically, this was just announced, and it is trending all over the timeline. I'm seeing everybody talk about it, and I feel like I'm kind of like, I'm out of the loop. Because, honestly, I do not know anything about this. At least I didn't really know much about it until obviously pulling up, the web pages, etc. of these announcements, and even the My Anime list as well, what the series is about. But now that I've kind of researched and looked into this, it kind of makes a lot of sense now, like why this post has like 1 million views, 25k likes, you go through the site looks really clean, these other posts are doing very well as, the cover art of the manga looks really good. So yeah, it definitely seems like there is a good reason to why there's a lot of people, the community at large is talking about this series called Gachiakuta. I'm just gonna call it Gachi, okay? I'm just gonna say Gachi for short because I don't want to sound like a dumbass. But, oh yeah, let's dive headfirst into this and what we know so far. So first off, this got announced early this morning, and it's being adapted by Studio Bones, aka the same studio that brought us Mob Psycho, My Hero Academia, and we even have a little bit of the staff listing as well. So if you go here to the announcement to the site, the announcement of the anime, and you go to My Anime list, you can kind of see who the director is, and also who is the original creator, the series composition, but also the chief animation director / character design. So I'm pulling up the director first, and taking a look at their overall, I guess, track record, what they've worked on over the years. They've had sporadic work. I mean, you can see that they've been working in the industry for quite a long while, basically since 2007 as early as I can see here, and they've worked on a few things over the course of, the past 2 decades. They've been key animators, storyboarders, etc., and they even worked on Shirobako, for instance. That's pretty fascinating. Shirobako is excellent, and the fact that they storyboarded Shirobako does say a lot about their potential talent. But basically, from what I can find out is that this is one of the first very few times that they have directed a series, so this is pretty fascinating. I'm curious to see exactly how they're able to bring this story to life. But I mean, looking at the early trailer, etc., of what was given earlier this morning, it definitely looks to be enticing. Like here, I'll pull up the trailer now. Like, look at this. I'm gonna turn it down for, I don't get copyrighted. But like, it looks really freaking good. Obviously, they're using, like, I'm assuming manga panels and stuff here, different colors of manga panels, but like, the artwork here looks absolutely incredible. And if this is what I can expect from, like, the anime adaptation, I feel like Studio Bones is definitely the perfect studio for this. Like, if it is the same amount of effort that was poured into, let's say, Mob Psycho 100, I do feel like Studio Bones is about to cook up a really 10 out of 10 show here. I mean, once again, looking at the reaction from the community, it's mostly positive. I really haven't seen any negative reaction to this announcement in the studio that was tied to it, the director, etc. So this does seem to be overall, good news. People are accepting it with open arms. On top of that, looking at the chief animation director, looking at the stuff they've worked on a few things over the years as well. They've kind of been in the industry even longer than the director, since like the 1990s, as you can see here. So yeah, they've definitely worked on quite a bit, and I mean, yeah, they definitely know about how the industry works. I mean, they've worked on Fullmetal Alchemist Brotherhood, they've worked on the Bleach movie, so yeah, they've also worked on some things that, can be questionable, like, Data Live. I know there's a lot of people like Data Live, but, the anime sometimes has a lot of dips, so just wanted to be completely blunt there. But, anyways, getting on to the main topic, though, let's discuss what this is actually about. So, first off, we need to look at this site. So, when I was doing research and I found this site, the official site to it, I clicked on it, and this is what I was greeted with. And this is just super clean, and honestly, when I took a look at the way this website was designed, it obviously is very simplistic, but it reminds me so much of, like, the early 2010s or even the early 2000s of people making websites to generate traffic for their series or something that they're actually doing. It's been a long time since I saw, like, a site really do something like this, and it's just something about, like, anime announcement sites that really just, like, they stand the test of time, and it feels like you kind of take a trip back in the past or whatever. Like, you're taking a time machine or whatever, and you're going back into the old age of the internet, because most of the time when you see, like, announcements and stuff for series, it's just like a trailer on YouTube or whatever, which obviously there is a trailer on YouTube, but you see a trailer on YouTube, you see an announcement post on Twitter, and that's pretty much about it. You don't really see much more than that, maybe some ads here and there, maybe on TV in Japan, and I love how Japan does stuff like this. They make actual sites for anime. I hope that this never stops. It's just definitely something I really appreciate. It's a little minor detail, but I definitely wanted to sing its praises. So, with that being said, we know that it's releasing in 2025, as you can kind of see here on the screen. We had a little brief trailer, which once again is a very early look. It is basically just like, I'm assuming manga panels, maybe it's animated, but I'm assuming it's art from the manga panels, and we even get a full-blown synopsis, as you can see here. Basically, let's dive into this. Let's read about it. Okay, so, crawl back from the abyss of hell to change this lousy world. Rudo lives in the slums of a floating town where the poor scrape by under the shadow of the rich who live a scrumptious life, simply casting their garbage off the side into the abyss. Then one day, he's falsely accused of murder, and his wrongful conviction leads to an unimaginable punishment, exiled off the edge with the rest of the trash, aka the abyss. Down on the surface, the cast-off waste of humanity has bred vicious monsters, and if Rudo wants to have any hope of discovering the truth and seeking vengeance against those who casted him into hell, he will have to master a new power and join a group known as the Cleaners, who battle the hulking trash beast of the pit. Gachi is an action manga written and illustrated by the manga artist Kei Urana, with graffiti art by Hideyoshi Ando. It began serialization in Kodansha's Weekly Shonen magazine in February 2022, so it's a relatively new series, about 2 years old, and won the Global Special Prize in the Comics category of the Next Manga Awards 2022. While developing the concept for the series, Urana thought that incorporating graffiti art would make it more interesting, and enlisted the help of a graffiti artist, Hideyoshi Ando. The enemies are conformity, authority, and discrimination. The phenomenal manga will be adapted into an anime in 2025. Production will be headed by none other than Studio Bones. So overall, this is legitimately some fascinating news. So the description alone instantly reminds me of some, like, Lovecraftian vibe. Like, a little bit of Made in Abyss is kind of thrown into this story. And if you know me, and you know how I talk about Made in Abyss, like when I reviewed the series, you know I love Lovecraft stuff. Like, when it comes to, like, Cthulhu and just the eldritch nature of things and stuff, I love that type of stuff. And the fact that, you know, this series is diving into, like, a Lovecraftian type vibe going on, I welcome that with open arms. I feel like there's just so much untapped potential in manga to dive into Lovecraftian horror. There's some manga out there that obviously do that, but I just feel like it's just so few and so niche to find that there's so much potential. And I'm glad to see that more manga is trying to do more Lovecraftian type nature with their stories, like Made in Abyss and now this. So I can see why there's a lot of people hyping this up. Overall, it does sound pretty interesting. I know some might want to write this off as maybe generic because obviously powers and all that type of stuff, it sounds like maybe like a standard shonen, but the fact that there is a graffiti artist that is doing the main art of it, and that's a big thing that is kind of hammered in while you read the synopsis and all that, I think it's pretty cool. It showcases that, you know, the uniqueness and the nature of the artwork is supposed to stand out, and I can definitely feel that when I look at, like, this cover. This is like a volume 6 cover. I can definitely feel the uniqueness of the art. But, yeah, overall, the announcement of Gachi, it looks pretty good. I'm actually pretty excited. Once more information comes out, obviously, you know, I will definitely cover it. We don't really, I say, have a really good animated trailer yet to really decide how good it's going to be, but if it has even 50 to 70% the amount of passion that Mob Psycho 100 got, I feel like Gachi has the potential to really just blow up in popularity. Will it become like the next JJK or something? I don't know. I doubt it. But I do think that it has the possibility to be very popular in niche communities. So yeah, maybe I'll have to give the manga a read, just judging by the reaction that everybody's been making today. But I'll leave it at that. Once again, have a fantastic day, everybody. I love you. Be safe. Stay healthy. Chibi out.